Guys, what made you realize this girl is definitely not into me? Story 1. My roommate encouraged me to ask this girl out. He said she really liked me. So I asked her out and set a dinner date. I pick her up and at dinner, she barely responds to me. I ask questions about her major, her family, etc., and all I get back are short answers and no follow-up. I'm frustrated and she's unhappy and I guess we both look miserable. When the waitress tells us that we need to perk up and be happy, she then asks how long we've been dating. Her face falls when I tell her this is the first date. She goes oh, and walks away and doesn't really talk to us again. After dinner, we were supposed to go to a friend's house who was having a party, but I look at her in the car and say, look, obviously neither one of us had a good time. Instead of going to the party, why don't I take you back to your dorm? She said yeah, and that was it. I went back to my roommate furious and asked him why he thought she had a crush on me. He said he thought she would once she got to know me. Yeah. Well, she didn't. Story 2. Back in college, I took a girl on a lunch date. We had a really nice time. When it was getting time to leave, I told her I had to get to work. She said, where do you work? I said McDonald's. And I literally could see her attitude shift in 1 second. Cool. So as I'm driving her home, I said, so can we hang out again? She replies, yeah, totally. So the next day I text and ask if she wants to hang. She never responded. Story 3. My senior prom. I had my friend who liked my former best friend, he never explicitly said. And they went to prom together. Literally an hour into prom. And she's making out with a dude in the ballroom while they're slow dancing. My friend went outside and just danced the whole night away. To the band outside. We joined him because it was so much more fun. And less hectic outside. I thought my former best friend had done such a huge bitch move. The guy she was with she had liked since our sophomore year of high school. It was just so messed up. Story 4. At a bar with some friends. My boy John starts trying to chat up this girl and her friends. I approach and try to wingman. This girl makes hard eye contact and says, well, it was great meeting you guys. I, of course, say likewise and drag off John to go explain to his dumbass how to recognize when girls are politely telling you to F off. Story 5. I don't remember how we ended up talking. But I ended up asking her out to dinner and she said yes. We went, ordered our food and ate. The entire time she was on her phone, so I just paid my bill and left. 10 or 15 minutes after I left, she started blowing up my phone. Not to ask where I was, but to demand why I didn't pay for her food. I just responded by blocking her. Story 6. We flirted for several weeks, hung out every day. I kept feeling a closer and closer connection, but due to circumstances I could not control. We were never alone enough together for me to test it. Had some friends plan a camping trip and I invited her. And she said yes. I even specifically told her there's gonna be 2 couples there. So we're gonna be in a tent, just the 2 of us. She said yes, she knows. Get to the trip. We have a few drinks and I ask her if she wants to take a walk with me to look at stars. I get it. It's corny, shut up. Once we're a little away from everyone, I tell her how much I like her and attempt to go in for a kiss. Story 7. I once went on a date with this girl, bought her dinner, went downstairs to the bar, nightclub for a drink afterwards. She ran into some girlfriends and just went over to their table, sat down and started chatting and drinking. I sat alone for about 20 minutes. Then just left without saying anything. Never heard from her again. Story 8. I didn't realize until I asked her out. We had been talking and hanging out for a few months. She and I had matching personalities and we were both more energetic around each other than around others. I had a massive crush and I felt like taking a chance, so I told her I liked her and she said, damn, I'm really sorry. I feel we're better off as friends. I guess I didn't realize she wasn't into me until she said as such. I moped for a while before finally being able to have a shit happens attitude towards it. Nowadays she's happily with someone. Our friendship has faded away, which is actually more upsetting than being rejected romantically. I'm still single, but I'm happily single, so it's alright. If I ever feel that feeling again, I will always take that risk. Story 9. When I accidentally let a fart slip, as we got out of the car to our crib and then suddenly had to sleep in the guest room. A little backstory. We met at work. We had a good vibe. We constantly flirted and even spoke about aspects of our life. From time to time, we decided to link up after work twice. We had greatest twice. We then fell off because she lost the job we worked together. She ended up in a relationship. Fast forward 6 months and they broke up. I shot my shot. We planned to see Avengers Endgame, and then I was going to spend the night like before. As I pulled into her apartment complex, a mini dog ran out in front of my car. I swerved to avoid hitting it and bust 2 tires on the curb. I couldn't get replacements until after work the next day. I couldn't leave my guest room confinement if I wanted to. And trust I wanted to. Lamai called a Uber to get to work in the morning. We smoked a blunt after shift while my tires got changed. And we haven't spoke since. She likes pics on IG everyone and then but das it. Damn, she ed some good lovin'. Story 10. So I was on one of the nightly FaceTime calls with this girl. I was super into, then at around 4 in the morning. She says that she is getting a call from someone and needed to answer. The next morning I see her Snapchat story of her on FaceTime with another guy. The next night I call her, and she says she is already on call with someone and it turns out to be the same guy. We lost touch and I am pretty sure those two got together. Story 11. She kept talking about how she needed more commitment from me. Relationship had turned long distance. I was paying for the travel and doing the majority of the traveling. I was the one that had moved away, sustained it for about a year. But I just realized that she wasn't into me enough to take what she perceived as a risk in moving 5-hour drive away from her family. Never spoke about her needing to show commitment to me. Think what finally did it was when she got a raise to similar to what I was making. And I brought up her starting to contribute to the travel costs and she laughed like it was a joke. I clarified I was serious and she brushed it off. Nope, I'm out. Stuck around longer than I should have. Was her first serious relationship, which in retrospect I think was a big factor in some of the immaturity. Story 12. Also, I have to tell this because it's hilarious. And I know for a fact it's true. A girl I know was dating a guy who turned out to be married. The wife found out but stayed with the husband. So the guy gets in a car accident. And the side chick girl calls to see if he's okay. The dude tells her he has amnesia and doesn't remember her. And he's with his wife now. Homeboy done said he got amnesia to get rid of the side chick. Story 13. We had been fooling around for a bit. And I had hopes of pursuing a relationship. She knew I had an apt that I wouldn't be using that summer college and she needed a place to store some things. After a date I brought her back to my place for the first time. And she quietly said, "This will do nicely." And I had a realization that I had been played. She stored her stuff for a bit and I have barely seen her since. Story 14. Can I have time to think about it? Then nothing. Radio silence for like a month. Next time we talked it's as if that moment never happened. I've had every rejection under the sun used on me. Laughter, a straight up no. Coming up with an excuse halfway through the date to leave, being ghosted, it's not you it's me. One even claimed that she liked me. But her parents didn't approve of me so nothing could happen. Only to find out later that her parents actually thought I was great. And would repeatedly ask her about me. In that case I think she just wanted S and nothing more. Which I should have seen from the start, but that one, can I have time to think about it, damn. I'm over it now, but I'll never forget how much it hurt. Story 15. When we ran into her friend while on a walk, and she introduced me as her friend. She then asked me what I thought of us, and then proceeded to explain how she was still hung up over her ex, and not ready for a relationship. She enjoyed being friends and still wanted to do that. But wanted to be clear that's all she could do. It was the first time a woman was ever direct with me instead of suddenly not answering my texts. I told her I respected her for that. And she apologized for women everywhere for ghosting so much. I didn't try to date anyone for many years after that. Her direct response changed my outlook on looking for a spouse. in a positive way. Story 16. Oh snap. So, last fall I went to class and ran into this really cute girl and I thought, hey, I'm gonna try to talk to her more, and over the next 2 weeks I found 0 openings. Until we were told to get into groups for a project. Small class. But I wasn't in her group, so I asked her if it was cool if I joined her group. Because they seemed more serious than my other group. Bunch of losers, she said yes. So it was me, her best friend, and another girl I'd talked to for a bit. We agreed to meet up on Friday at the library. We talked a bit more before then and became friends. She's really touchy, so she'd grab my arm, lean on me, etc. I thought she was into me. I show up early and she was there alone, so we began to talk. And she's so much like me. Has a weird sense of humor, very smart, and super friendly. She even liked Dragon Ball. That's the dream. Also, her favorite Spider-Man movies were the originals, and not the Holland ones. Then the other 2 girls arrive and I see her phone and her lock screen is of her best friend. The other girl comments, "WW, your best friend's your lock screen?" And she says, "Nope, my girlfriend's my lock screen." So that really made me realize she totally wasn't interested in me at all. Funny thing is, we all are still really good friends. We've tried to take classes together and she's helped me out. When I had trouble, I accidentally ruined her surprise birthday party. We hung out while we could, she'd buy us lunch, invite us to her place, and we really have a good time together. Those 3 girls are the best friends I've made in university. It's kinda sad, but before I went like 6 months without anyone in college saying my name, or even talking to me. They weren't mean. They were just not my friends. But I met these girls and I have a friend network. I have a constant study group and she's even helping me lose weight. Because I couldn't do it on my own, she wasn't into me, but I honestly couldn't care less. I'm way happier now than I was before I met her.